Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Companies to watch.
All right, time to dial it up because we are talking about telcos this morning with Dan Ko. And he is going to be unpacking what's been going on.
That's right. Let's dive right into Companies to Watch, a segment where we spotlight and stock you up with ideas of listed companies that call for your attention. So we're looking at market trends to risks, hidden gems or warning signs to steer clear of. 88550893. Text us and tell us whether you think it's going to be a hot or not. Ryan, what telco do you use?
Oh, okay. I've been using M1 for, since 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's a very, very long time. I see you're a very loyal man.
I am. I'm very committed.
Yes, I can tell. Hope the wife says so herself as well.
And how about you?
I am using Circles Life.
And how long?
For about as long as I can remember, I think I was using Singtel before. And then when I got out of the plan that was initially tagged to my parents' plan,
Right.
I decided to try something new.
So you gone your own way, broke up with Singtel, and you found something that works for you. But why you switch anyway?
Thought that it was a lot more affordable.
Right.
And I think price point was good, and the data that they give you has attractive offerings that appeal to me.
Okay.
Yes, and we're not turning to either one of them today. We're in fact turning to a leading Singaporean company offering integrated telecommunications, entertainment, and digital solutions. I'm talking about the iconic Green Star. Starhub. They provide services to both consumers and businesses, including mobile, broadband, TV, and a range of enterprise solutions. Also known as the second largest mobile operator in Singapore's highly competitive market. And the reason why I've decided to bring this stock to our attention today, it's because the company has finally announced that it is taking full ownership of MyRepublic's broadband business. Have you heard of this telco before, Ryan?
Yeah, they are quite, household names in that sense. Both of them have their own crowds. Of course, also Starhub back in the day was, I believe, the third entrant into the telco space after Singtel, then M1, then Starhub came along.
That's right.
And also in that sense, MyRepublic was a bit of a disruptor as well, coming into the scene when already there were other options. So it's almost full circle for the folks at MyRepublic as well, because many of them came from Starhub.
Yeah, certainly so. And yes, this follows, them as well, taking a first 50.1% stake in the deal that was announced back in September of 2021. So it kind of closes up the deal of MyRepublic to Starhub. And according to Starhub, they will be paying about $94.3 million for the remaining 49.9% stake in MyRepublic's broadband business that it doesn't already own. So Starhub is also paying $10.9 million for operating assets as well, for a total consideration of $105.2 million. Now, based on unaudited financial statements of MyRepublic Broadband, that's for the year December 31st of 2024, the aggregate net asset value attributable to the sale shares was at negative $600,000, generating earnings of about $5.16 million. So part of the consideration of some $74.2 million will be funded using an existing loan, which was extended by Starhub to MyRepublic earlier this year. So the deal assumed that, it was completed on Jan 1st of 2024. That was back then. That would have lifted Starhub's EPS to 9.1 cents instead of 8.9 cents. And if we were to compare it to back when Starhub first announced its investment in MyRepublic back in September of 2021, it said that it would have to technically pay up to $162.8 million for the 50.1% stake. I guess, with them having to buy this remaining stake at a slightly discounted price, this kind of makes it a better deal for them, would you say?
Yeah. So a lot going on here. So I'm looking at the rationale that they gave Starhub for taking full ownership. And they talk about how it isn't just an acquisition, it's an acceleration.
Yeah.
Where they are building the foundation for growth. And then with the MyRepublic brand, they've got another piece of the puzzle, so to speak, to do cross-selling, to offer new products, and to just give better value in that sense, according to them, to customers. So I guess it could work.
Yeah, of course. And Starhub also said that that's in light of their plans to achieve greater strategic alignment and also control the operating assets, catering to different customer segments via different brands. A larger piece of the pie, I suppose. According to the CEO, he added that they've also laid a strong foundation for growth, and with MyRepublic broadband fully under their wing, they can move faster, go further, and serve customers with greater clarity and care as well. So the acquisition kind of makes, MyRepublic Broadband and Starhub's subsidiary a relatively bigger player in the field of telco. And it comes one day after the years-long speculation of Starhub acquiring M1 from Keppel. And that was quashed after the asset manager Keppel announced its proposed sale of the telco to Simba Telecom. That's another of the latest entrants to Singapore's telco scene. So that actually sent shares of Starhub falling by more than 6% on Monday after they decided that Starhub wasn't going to be acquiring M1 after all. But I guess this kind of brings in some hope that, Starhub is certainly still getting some piece of the pie within the telco space. And yeah, that would pretty much give some confidence, I think, back to investors that Starhub might remain one of the competitive players, would you say?
Yeah, but I think some folks are disappointed. I think that was reflected in the share price. So Simba and M1 coming together would present a bigger competitor to Starhub. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out in terms of competition. I think with the pie now, I suppose with Simba and M1 coming together, it makes them more sustainable in the sense as well. They don't have to go into deeper price wars or more intense discounts in that sense. So there's less pressure for them to do so. So that's possibly going to allow them to be more sustainable in terms of how they price things, and that in the long run could do or bode well for the telcos.
Yeah, this is a huge dynamic change that we're seeing in the telco scene with, I guess, the bigger fish just eating up the smaller fishes. And it also comes after Starhub reported a net profit after tax attributable to shareholders of $31.8 million in the first quarter of 2025. That's down about 18.4% from last year. Now, the company also said that the lower net earnings were recorded following a 0.7% decline in service revenue, which settled to about $464 million. Now, beyond Singapore, Starhub has its sights on expanding its digital infrastructure, managed services businesses through both organic growth and acquisition in Malaysia for a start, and then slowly broadening elsewhere in ASEAN. Now, for the full year 2024 results, revenue from Starhub's enterprise business had jumped 14%. They've also got their network solutions business surging by 16.5% and cybersecurity business surging by more than 26%. So it does seem like they are certainly diversifying, their income and where they're getting most of their revenue and profits. So I suppose, having to increase their pie of the telco share within this competitive space, this might very well give them a good competitive edge. And having considered that, I suppose my verdict for Starhub has got to be a hot for today.
Okay.
What say you, Ryan?
I don't think I'm as optimistic as you because I think there is a lot going on in the telco space, and Starhub, I think, has some ways to go to really turn things around.
Yeah.
And they've got, of course, the TV business. They try to bundle that with the broadband business and the mobile business and so on. To some degree, they've been quite successful, but I think now with the likes of Circles Life, the other MVNOs, all the new brands coming out. It's a very competitive landscape. And then now with Simba and M1 joining hands, it is going to mean things are going to potentially be different.
Yeah, so we'll see how this landscape continues to evolve over time. But that pretty much wraps it up for our analysis of today's Stock in Focus, Starhub. Now, here's some fun facts about Starhub, Brian. Did you know that on May 2003, Starhub became the first mobile operator in Singapore to commercially launch BlackBerry? That's the handheld wireless device providing email. Yeah. Have you used that before?
No, I've tried it before. I haven't owned one.
I thought it was a pretty cool phone back then. But there goes the keypads, I suppose. So what do you call a lady that works in telecommunications?
No idea.
Antenna.
Huh.
Okay. All right. Now I'll give you a better one. Why did the crow land on the telephone pole?
You needed rest?
He wanted to make a long-distance call.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And that's all we have for Starhub.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.